Hello, this is Teslan, and I am in Stalingrad North for the Lighthouse After Actions Report Volume 20. In Volume 19, we looked at Stalingrad South. So here we are on the opposite end of the map. There's two artillery on both sides, 3 scouts on both sides, a ton of TDs, and 2 heavies on the enemy team, where we have a bunch of TDs as well, but 2 mediums plus. Actually, they have 3 heavies. We have 2. So they have a TD more than we do, but we have mediums. We're a little bit more mobile, and that could play a difference in the battle. I'm going to watch in the beginning here where we're going to set up, who's going where, and before I decide which way I want to go. And we have a medium headed over toward the beach, which is what I wanted to see. It looks like they're both going that way, so I'm going to go to the beach. If they hadn't each shown that they were going that way, I probably would have pulled up in here and tried to get some spots right away. But we have enough tanks coming over here that I'll have support, so I'm going to run down this way and see how many enemies show up. Still don't know what I can do yet, because if a bunch of enemy comes, then I can't play aggressive over here. That was drifting just for the sake of drifting there. Didn't have any reason to do it other than it's fun to do. So you got the Charioteer, IS-6, Bulldog, 2801. They're making their presence known here. The 2801 already has position established out beside the side of the building. Takes a hit for it. But I don't want to pull out when he's already aiming this way, because that gives him the advantage of getting the first shot in each round of shots, and that's something where he wins the battle that way probably. And see, still, now he moved back a little bit, but the Bulldog's sitting out. I'm going to pull up and see if I can get a shot in the Bulldog. I shoot over him. Just as the 2801 fires, I'm backing up and he misses me. And now he has position out there again. So I don't want to pull out. If I could shoot at the back of his tank, I might try it and give up a shot to go for the kill. But having to shoot at the angle across his front, I'm probably not going to take him out in one shot. So I'm just not going to do it. What I'm going to try to do is come down here and sneak back around and get a shot in behind him. Because if I can shoot at the back of him, I can probably kill him in one boom. And the 416 beats me to it. So I just move down to the south, see if I can get behind the 8.8. I took a second to set up my tank to switch to HE after the first shot. Because HE, I mean a heat will tear up the back of an 8.8, give you pretty consistent big hits as long as he hits square. Especially on the upper deck there. You can be right up against him and side huck and shoot right into the back, and you won't splash yourself. But you'll get good hits like this. 394. .293. It looks like the Bulldogs don't come in, so I'm going to move around, but whoops, he sees the tanks off to his left and goes that way. I finish off the 8.8 and the 64 rammed the Bulldog. That's pretty funny. So we got 2 arty and 2 mediums on the IS-6. I'm going to go try to find the artillery. On the other side of the map, we have 3-on-3 with TDs, and I think the other heavy's over there because he hasn't shown up over on this side yet. And there he is. So they have a slight mismatch. I'm planning on going up here, killing that artillery, and then trying to get behind the TDs and help out over on that side of the map. Although the IS-6 is putting up a good fight over on this side. There's the artillery, right together. and it throws it over top him. He's not reacting like he knows I'm here, so I'll just wait and take another shot. I track him, he fixes and gets out, so I'm going to shoot this next guy. Splash. Now I'm pulling up here thinking, well, the M44 is going to be waiting on me, so it's a shootout. A lot of times I can survive a hit from them, so we'll see what happens here. I'm pretty certain he's rotated around and waiting on me. We're about to find out. You're dead now, buddy. If you're going to shoot me, you got to kill me. Now it's the 64 and myself with 2 RD versus the 8.8 and the RHM. I haven't thought about capping at all because the RHM is fast enough to get back and break up cap. And the 8.8 isn't really that far away. If both of us went on cap, the RHM, I guarantee you, would take one of us out. And that would give the 8.8 enough time to get here and take out the other one, probably. So I have no plans at all to sit on cap. And hopefully he doesn't stay there. Hopefully he's just doing it to help bait him down this way. I want to get to where I can try to pick him off if they come across here. He's realizing that's not a good thing to stay there much longer, so he's leaving. And now the TDs are together, so we have to be careful. The good thing is, right here is a fairly open area, so the arty should be able to plop rounds on top of their heads. If I can get them to come over here and try to get me, I can proxy scout them on the other side of the building, and hopefully the arty can hit him. It looks like the Type 64 is positioning himself to come in behind him if he can. Here comes the RHM and the 8.8. So stay right there, 8.8. As long as you stay there, Artie, I think, has a shot on you. And I'm not planning on going after him. If you noticed when the 44 hit me, he took out my driver and my gunner, and I chose to fix my gunner. Because when I get a shot, I want it to be accurate. I can deal with the poor acceleration against TDs. There we go. M44 gets the kill shot. Perfect. Just as planned. No need to be a hero and go try to take that guy on one-on-one. And I missed that shot. When you have 2 artillery that are supporting you, plus a 64, all you have to do is get him to sit still long enough for somebody to shoot him. Now I'm going to quick run up here. It looks like he's going to come right after me, so I'm going to turn around. I am reloaded. If I hit him, I kill him, or else I die. Kill him. End of the game. For the battle, I ended up with 2,181 XP. 4 spots, 1,071 spotting damage, 4 kills, and 2,169 damage myself. So a couple different things here. In the beginning, I waited a second, kind of loitered just a little bit to see where people were going. And I had enough people going to the beach to make it worthwhile to go over there and see what kind of opposition the enemy put up. And they hit a decent number of tanks over there as well. Initially, the 2801 was poking out around the building enough to where if I pulled out to try to shoot him, he was guaranteed the first shot unless he was just incredibly slow reflexes. And that's not a winning proposition for me. He had just the front corner of his tank sticking out, so I couldn't really get to hit the sweet spots on him, which is like the rear engine deck. You can catch him on fire a lot and one-shot him if you get lucky. At least two-shot him. But I didn't think I was going to win an exchange based on where he was, so I just didn't start the fight. I moved to a different spot, was going to come in behind him. 416 beat me to him. So I pressed on farther down south and came up. As I moved in on the 8.8, I loaded heat for my second shot, because as you saw, it'll do if you shoot straight into the upper deck, it's far enough forward that you don't splash yourself, and you get pretty consistent damage between about 280 up to 350, which is fine going against a tank like that. And the M41 came in. I thought he was going to come after me, and so I was starting to move around to the side of the TD, hopefully get a kill shot on him before the 41 could hit me. But he saw the tanks off to the north, turned that way, and ended up dying up there because the Type 64 rammed him. But that saved me from having to try to get too fancy on the 8.8. And it looked like the beach was well in hand with the last heavy, so I went off in search of artillery. And I killed the one guy. The one guy I hit and didn't kill, and I knew the way he was going, he's just going to wait for me to come barreling down the alley. But I didn't want to go the other way and get closer to the TDs, so I was like, okay, he may get a shot at me, maybe he'll kill me, but this to me makes the most sense. And he got a shot, killed 2 of my crew. I normally wouldn't do this, but I chose the gunner over the driver because it was a city map, and I figured I'd be like crawling around buildings, so I was going to be able to get away with slow acceleration. Whereas I didn't want to have to try to get away with any worse accuracy than I already have, because it's not terribly accurate to begin with. So it ended up working out. 64 started capping. TDs came down fairly together. And like I said, where I was, set the 8.8 up to be into this little plaza. And if you look at where our artillery was, that gave them enough space to put in shots on the 8.8. So I proxy scouted them at the end. The 64 came in too. And both artillery hit the 8.8 and took him out. And that left us was just the RHM. He tried to beat me around the building, but that's too far to go with my short reload, and I was able to get a good hit on him. I don't use heat against the RHM because you can tear up a RHM with HE, and you have greater damage potential when you're going against that weak armor. The heat just can't do as much damage as the HE does, so you want to keep him on HE and go for the biggest shot possible. And that ended up allowing me to get the kill. So it ends up being a hard fought but good victory. And like I said, if I didn't have a bunch of tanks come over here, I might have played more up in this area. City maps, it's always fluid. You have to be ready to change your plan based on what you see your tanks doing and what you see the enemy doing. So it's like you just saw me run the beach. First film to the north, second film to the south. Don't think that's how you play every game, because the next 4 times I play the map, if I try to go to the beach, I may get wiped out. It's not like the way to do it. It's just in both these cases, it seemed like the way to go based on how all the allied and enemy tanks were setting up. Okay, so please don't think, hey, I just saw him do it 2 times and got ace missions. It will hurt you if you always try to go there. If you go to the beach, do it because the situation is right to go to the beach. Otherwise, find a different place to go. From Stalingrad North, happy hunting.